And welcome back to Daily Wrap. Well, as many Americans know, income taxes are due today. But what many Americans may not know is tomorrow, a battle in Congress set to begin over estate taxes, or as they're more commonly known, Rick Unger, death panels.
Yeah, death taxes, not death panels.
Death panels, another from my fear-mongering.
So let's explain what all of this means. Republicans believe that an asset passed down to a family member that has already been taxed when the asset was acquired should be free of more taxes. Makes sense to me. Meanwhile, Democrats see it as a class warfare issue, where only the rich look to gain, and that money is better served elsewhere, like infrastructure and stuff. And it's not just families with huge portfolios. The death tax also affects family businesses, including ranches, which could force children or farmers or business owners to sell a part of the business in order to foot the tax bill. Everybody get that? Okay, good. Republican Congressman Kevin Brad sums up the battle this way.
The death tax is an immoral tax, and it's an attack on the American dream. It disproportionately hurts small businesses and startups. They've already paid, as Mr. Nacy and others have pointed out, very high rates on it to begin with, and Uncle Sam swoops in and takes 40% of the nest egg they've built a lifetime trying to put together. And what's worse is that this tax is especially destructive to women and minority-owned businesses, the fastest growing sector of our economy today.
That was a nice touch. So, how much money are we really talking about? The average person will not have to worry if they inherit their grandmother's house who's just getting by. Well, at least not until they sell it. But estates valued at more than $5.43 million this year, and married couples with estates worth more than $10.86 million, we have exact figures here, will be facing tax penalties. Even though the bill will likely pass the House, it will be DOA in the Senate. And even if it got through the Senate, guess what the president's going to do with it? And it starts with a V. So, guys, Congressman Kevin Brady called it immoral. Heather Hansen, do you agree?
I think immoral might be a bit of a stretch, but I do think it's unfair, and I think that it is definitely unfair, and it's not affecting the uber wealthy have ways of getting around these taxes. So it's affecting people, like he said, the families, the people with their own businesses. But I don't think it's the biggest problem with our tax situation right now. I think, the latest Pew poll on taxes, the highest percentage of people had a problem with the complexity. People want to know how much they're going to owe. They want to know how much money they have. If they know that, they're more likely to invest that money. They're more likely to spend that money. And that's what has to be fixed, the complexity of the system.
I'm going to give you a compliment.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
You know why you're on so many different platforms? You're on .com, and you're on radio, and you're on this television show because you're unpredictable.
I thought it was because I work cheap.
And because you are like an intern in terms of what you demand.
Yes.
But the point is, are you going to surprise us here and say, you know what, taxing somebody twice is a dumb idea, or are you going to toe the party line, Rick Unger?
Now, I have always viewed this as one of the most difficult issues out there. If you are a progressive, if you believe in progressive taxation, and I'm actually not all that addicted to progressive taxation, then you necessarily have to believe in the estate tax because it is the most progressive of progressive taxes. I, at the same time, completely understand the other side of the argument, which is really not fair to double tax it. You took the money from me when I was earning the money to buy whatever it is, or to have this in my estate. To take it again is not fair. You do have to keep it in perspective. A very, very small percentage of the American public, like less than 2%, will pay it. But then again, those 2% are entitled to be treated fairly too. So it's a very difficult issue that I have never come up with my own answer.
See, that's an honest answer. And on another television show, you had to be definitive and take a side even if you don't believe in it. There is some nuance here, Brad Hurst.
No, there's tons of it. Look, this is really important. You can make a very serious moral argument against this tax. And anyone who thinks otherwise is kidding themselves. You really can, because why is someone being retaxed? On the other hand, as you said, it affects very few people, right? 5,400 estates over the next several years. 2 million people are going to die this year in this country. So for me, the issue is, why are we spending so much political energy, given the number, forget of larger issues beyond just tax code issues we face in this country?
I can answer that question.
This is getting
I can too.
I would love
great politics, right?
Symbolism.
Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
I know.
Symbolism.
But here's the thing: when a
Constituents
symbol,
aren't even going to pay it.
you're right.
But
But that's the problem.
But
When a
it sounds
symbol is robbed of any real meaning that serves the people, it's not a symbol, it's an idol. And so what we have is political idolatry. And it's expressed on both sides with moral outrage from the right. I mean, when you ask them, people shouldn't have to deal with this when they're grieving a loss.
They
Right?
aren't
That's the
dealing
house.
with it.
If that's what you're dealing with when
Right.
you're grieving the loss of your
Right.
mom or dad, you've got bigger problems than the tax bill that's coming.
right.
On the other hand, it would be nice if people on the left would say, you are right, we are using tax policy to machine an outcome in this country that we believe in. And it's not fair, and that's where we want to go. And if you don't like it, tough. I don't agree with that, but I'd love to hear that freshness.
Rick, 10 seconds. Is there any room for compromise here, or
Yes,
is it kill it or
yes.
don't kill it?
And we've tried a few things over the past couple years, even having a year where if you had to die, die, because it was 0%. We have to find the right level, the right
Okay.
rate.
And coming up next, well, if we're still living, it's potluck time. This is the Daily Wrap, only on Newsmax.